Hello and welcome back to Reddit Recreations, your home for some chilled out vibes and a few Reddit stories. Today we're continuing and finishing the story of Complex-Wing 7114 with the story I have 2 weeks to get away from my husband. Now we're joining this after the third update. If you haven't seen the original video, click on the link right here. That'll take you to the first half of this story. It's definitely worth a watch before you get into this bit. So just a quick reminder of what's happened so far before we get into the updates. OP was with her husband Alex for 7 months. He's become more controlling and manipulative over time, trying to take control of her finances, even making her wear a tracker at one point. He's away for 2 weeks, and in that time, she needs to leave the house completely. When we left the story, she'd found hidden cameras in the house, had lawyers look over the pre-signed divorce agreement he'd written to hold over her head anytime she acted up, and discovered some concerning context about kids that made her believe he was also trying to baby trap her. She'd also requested her work to find her placement in another location. Now we move on to update number 2, which says there's good news. My work has an opening I qualify for that will not only shift me across the country, but also comes with a salary increase as well. Wow, fantastic. I've started telling my in-laws and friends that I'm planning a surprise outing for when my husband gets back, just for the two of us. That way, people don't give me odd looks if they see me out and about. I've even gone as far as asking mother-in-law to show me his favourite recipes. Meanwhile, I found a moving company that, while small, is willing to work in a storm. The reason is, in 5 days, we're supposed to get hit with a large storm front. I plan to shut off the breaker and say we lost power if he asks, just as several people here have suggested, and even send him a short clip of the storm. That is very clever. That is extremely clever. I mean, as soon as I saw the storm, I thought, oh no, that's just typical. It's already hard enough, and then the storm adds on top. But switching that up and getting that work in your favour is a very clever move. Because, again, if these hidden cameras upload directly to him and he gets a live feed of them, I mean, he asked you to put a tracker on yourself, so he probably has a live feed of these cameras and probably checks them all the time. Now, I'll have all my stuff moved in that afternoon, and I'll be flying out once the weather has cleared enough to do so. I have a lawyer who will push my divorce through, and I've filled out all the necessary paperwork so that I don't have to be here for it. I'm not suing for assets or alimony, and I've shredded his divorce papers as well. I've set up a cheap payphone plan through the cricket, until this is all said and done, at which point I will find a new carrier, number and phone. This one is being wiped and left behind. My laptop is provided by my work, and the IT department inspected it thoroughly and it was clean, thankfully. No other electronic aside from my laptop and new phone will be coming with me. If Alex needs to talk to me, he can do it through my lawyer. Not sure if anything else will happen. My fingers are crossed that he doesn't think anything's amiss until after I leave, and I'm not turning the breaker back on when I do. He can when he gets home. My work is covering the plane ticket, so at least that's one expense I don't have to finagle in. At least that's one expense I don't have to finagle in. I mean, great news right off the bat that not only do they have a place in another position, they're also giving you a pay rise as well. So maybe you thank the husband. Maybe this is all going to work out better. Thank you for showing me your scumbag, and thank you for getting me a pay rise that I never would have gotten without you. Maybe you can add that to the divorce documents. And here we have another update number 3, which says it's been a busy week, but I've gotten so much done. Firstly, I am now out of the house and I'm currently in a hotel while I look for an apartment. It's a big city, bustling with people no matter where you look. We've had a pretty bad storm system hit back home. That actually lasted 2 days. High winds, thunder, lightning, and even hail everywhere. I didn't take much from the house: my documents, clothes, and important essential items, and sentimental items. I left all of the furniture and electronics behind. I cleaned the house top to bottom and took pictures on my phone so he couldn't claim I damaged anything when I left. That's clever. My lawyer's already started divorce proceedings, and my husband will be served on the 8th, which will be tomorrow after this post. His plane is due to land early morning, and the sheriff will be there at his house waiting for him. He is very much about public appearances and reputation. My lawyer will be calling him as well to inform him that I am more than willing to air out everything to the public about his actions if it means securing my freedom from him. I will go to court as long as I must to get this pushed through. I haven't told our friends or his in-laws yet, I will do that when he's on the flight to prevent him from getting wind of it before he's handed the divorce papers. I'll be calling around and explaining why we're getting divorced, to try and prevent him from twisting this into somehow being my fault. I don't want him trying to claim I had an affair or anything, so I want to get the truth out before he can twist it. I'm doing okay. I'm tired, but yet I feel almost jittery and off kilter. I keep looking over my shoulder and monitoring what I say, even when I don't really need to anymore. Hopefully that will fade soon. My work is covering the cost of the hotel, and I'm working on getting other things in order. I also need to find a new GP as I want to get full tests just to make sure everything is okay. I don't know when my next update will be, probably when the divorce papers are filed or we have to go to court to push them through. I'll try to keep my head up, but it feels like I'm in a whirlwind or something with so many things to do and think about. I kind of thought it would be easier once I got out of the house, but while the fear is smaller, somehow the number of tasks only seems to have grown. And having a look through all the comments as well at this point, there's no more. There's a few bits of advice here and there, but most people, they see the hard parts already over, the difficult parts already over, all the planning, the plotting, it's all been executed to perfection. Big round of applause needed for OP here. Lots of people just saying good luck, keep us posted, keep safe, and well done. And then we've got the fourth update. This came in on May 14th, so this would have been 6 days after the husband would have gotten home. Just before going into that, I think of everything from the husband's perspective. I mean, obviously we've been thinking about this poor woman this whole time, but think of everything from the husband's perspective. You've got your woman under your thumb, under your control. You even put a tracker on her whenever she goes out, and you know she will do everything you tell her to do. And you've got some sick joy and pleasure. And despite all of that, you still log into your cameras to check secretly on your phone every other day. And then you go away for 2 weeks, you come back, and the sheriff is there, a lawyer's there handing you divorce papers, and there'll probably be a few people around explaining everything. She knows everything, and she's leaving you. He is going to be blindsided, and he is not going to be happy about this. And his whole family, and all of his family and friends are going to know as well. He's going to get on that flight, happy, and he's going to return. As soon as he lands, everything is just going to hit him in the face so hard, and I'm so excited for this. Sorry I haven't updated for a while. Things got hectic and a bit chaotic, honestly. Firstly, I'm working on getting an apartment still and have applications at 3 different places and will hopefully hear back from them soon. I'm still going into work here at the new location, so I don't have to worry about burning through my emergency savings completely. I've gotten a lot of emails from Alex, his family, and our old friend group asking question after question. I've only sent one return email to Alex explaining that I don't believe we're truly compatible and I think it's best we separate now. That his treatment of me when I'd done nothing to deserve as such was just as much a deal breaker as cheating was for him. I ended the email with the statement that I would not be contacting him further and anything else he needed to pass on to me or vice versa would be done through my lawyer. For his family and friends, I just typed up one email outlining everything that had happened and why I left. I told them I wished them no ill will, but that such treatment of his wife and partner was not acceptable. That should Alex get remarried in the future, I wish they would help support both partners, and not just Alex. Alex, from what my lawyer told me, was livid when he was served. Here we go, come on, we need some juicy stuff here. The sheriff actually ended up booking him for assault on an officer and menacing due to the threats he was shouting. His father bailed him out in a few hours, but with the testimony of the sheriff, my lawyer believes I have a very good chance at getting a restraining order. Alex, upon returning to the house, apparently lost his temper again, breaking the dining table into pieces as well as the TV, and putting several holes in the wall. At least that's what one of the emails from one of our friends reported, as Alex called him to help him clean up the mess. My lawyer already has pictures of the house I took, with the timestamps as evidence. Nothing has been damaged by me. My friend reported that Alex tried to claim I'd been the one to trash the house, but the holes in the wall were at head height. Alex is 6'3" and I'm 5'4", so he knew it was false. So this evil, manipulative POS just has one nice little addition that he's also pretty dumb as well. Either way, taking the pictures definitely will help me again, so thank you everyone for that advice because I never would have thought of that on my own. My work won't share details of where I am, as I do work with some higher end clientele who value security, and all that information won't be gossiped about. And no, I'm not an escort. I deal with contracts, notary and business management. And such, even if Alex tried to use my work to find me, he will not succeed. And I do really hope that she stays anonymous, stays hidden, because this is a dangerous individual. This is a very dangerous partner. The fact that he's been able to, well, you can see the anger issues, destroying everything in the house, attacking a police officer. I love that. I absolutely love to see that, because that's something that they're not going to let slide. If it's something that's not to deal with them, they might not really care or just try and ignore it. But if you attack a police officer or a sheriff, oh boy, you're going down. And the top comment in this one comes from Any_broccoli_6411. And they say, yikes, the fact that he blew a fuse and started destroying things really is a red flag. I'm glad you left before you would have ever snapped and ended up hurting you. I hope your life gets better from here, OP. You deserve it. Good luck. Well, yeah, OP definitely deserves it. You've shown through your actions here that you are a very strong person and you should be proud of yourself. I get that you'd be scared, nervous, worried, so much to think about, but you should just take a minute to look at everything you've achieved in this last couple of weeks and be very proud of yourself for everything you've accomplished here. And secondly, absolutely, that anger, that blown fuse would have been directed at you if you didn't get out of that house. If you tried to approach it in any other way, all that anger destroying the walls, that could have been directed directly at you. So it's just been right decision after right decision after right decision by you. So my hat goes off to you, OP. Well done. Now we have a final update. Well, not necessarily final, but the most recent update from May 26th, 2024. This is about 9 days before the recording of this video. It says, it's been a little bit and I thought I'd decide to answer some questions before giving my update. It may be a while until after things change. Firstly, no, I didn't bring my car. The public transport here is good enough to use without needing one. I have secured an apartment and the building has good security. You need a key card to enter and there is a security guard at the desk right by the entrance of the building. As part of my contract, I gave them a photo of Alex and his family so that even in the off chance they do find me, they won't be let in. The responses I got from the emails varied. His family said that I was overreacting and that I owe Alex an apology for the problems this has caused him. The pending criminal charges puts him at a risk of losing his job if he's convicted as well. Alex sent a long email apologising and pleading for me to come home. He said he was worried for me and that he's willing to go to therapy if it would appease me. He wants us to remain together and he didn't think leaving was an appropriate response to the genuine concern and worry I had for my health and safety. Yeah, because if you are mentally, physically in danger, leaving that danger obviously is the worst thing to do, of course, isn't it? It's not appropriate. Whenever I'm in danger, I stay there. The friend gave somewhat lacking replies, saying that they didn't think Alex was ever going to hurt me and that I shouldn't be letting my imagination run away wild. As much as I wanted to say I was surprised by the lack of support, I'm honestly not. And I know I've only just started uploading, but anyone who has gone through Reddit stories in the past, who listens to them on YouTube or watches videos, you probably know that a lot of times these abusers, their family backs them up. They really back them to the hilt. Like, you can do the most vile things and disgusting things, and the mum and the dad, the brother or the sister, they will all just be supporting you absolutely to the hilt no matter what. And then they become abusers themselves. They get roped into it, and then, because if you're backing up someone in a situation like this, you have to believe that the other person's wrong or overreacting. Like, you can't back someone up and believe that the other person's still a victim. So you have to manipulate yourself. You have to put yourself in a position where you have the same mindset as them. And I think it's just disgusting that you can't put yourself in a position where you can criticize your own child or your own family. There's too many stories like this where parents are just backing up their abusive children all the time. And it sickens me. Lord knows if I had a child and they did something like this, I don't even know what I'd do, but I definitely wouldn't support them. If anything, I'd feel an obligation to help the victim in this situation if it was my child. And probably going to prison for a while would help them learn, and I'd hope they'd come out the other end a bit better. That's all I can really hope for as a parent. Maybe try and guide them as well along that course instead of just, yeah, you're this, that and the other, yeah, you're disgusting, screw you, he's my son, I'm going to back him no matter what. No. You back the person who's right, not the person you're tied to. He intends to fight the divorce. I'm letting my lawyer handle it, and I'm also pursuing a protective order as well. Once I get approved for my apartment, I also froze my credit. I've changed my phone carrier and number, as well as making sure none of my documents list Alex as next of kin or person of authority. Some have asked why I was so paranoid about Alex and his possible future actions. The answer for that is actually somewhat simple. My grandmother. Oh, here we go. The grandmas always get strays in these videos. What's happened to grandma this time? I loved that woman to bits. As a teen, she explained why my grandfather was never around. He was an extremely abusive and manipulative man, and her generation didn't allow divorce really. She wouldn't have been able to buy a house or get a good enough job to support her and my mother on her own. As such, she endured it, shielded my mum as she could until my grandfather died. When I felt like I may have been overreacting, I remember how she said she'd always wished she'd been able to see grandfather for what he was early on, and she may have been able to annul the marriage. People like to look at the divorce rate and say it's so much higher nowadays because of modern society, modern women not being happy enough. This definitely has a part to play in it, the fact that you can get divorced from an abusive partner and not have your entire life ruined. Your life can actually get better. So always spare a thought when you're thinking about the divorce rates of modern day, that maybe there's a reason they were so low in the past, and it's not because everyone had a great happy marriage. Oh, I feel so sorry for the grandmother in that situation. My heart really goes out to her. I'm so glad society's changed for the better in that regard. Wow. No words. I don't really know what else to say. Just well done for being able to get out of that. Imagine the pain of the grandmother if you got sucked into the exact same thing she did. She'd be living it all over again, but I can imagine. It says, I loved that woman to bits, so I think grandma's passed now, but she must be looking down at you, very proud of you for what you've done here. And probably a little bit happy that she wasn't only able to protect her child, but also her grandchild as well with her stories. Now, it ends by saying, I don't know when I'll update again, maybe when the divorce goes through or something big happens, but until then, I'm just trying to keep my head above the water. Well, that brings us to the end. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Reddit Creations. I hope you've enjoyed Best of Redditor Updates, which comes from the OffMyChest subreddit, which I'll probably do another video on because I really enjoyed that. I'm very glad it was a happy ending. Well done to Complex-Wing 7114. I hope you enjoyed their story, their tale, their ballad, because it was a hell of a story. And if there are any updates, I'll keep track and I'll let you know if there are any updates in the future. But that is all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do upload new Reddit videos every single day, and I'll see you again next time.